So, lessons learned this afternoon. It is technically afternoon. That I learned the difference between what a regular, I guess, large language model and an instruction-based large language model is. I didn't know it was like like the prompt you can give to an AI or a large language model for it to understand and actually be able to do shit. So in LM Studio, you find an instruction-based large language model, and you can just create MCPs to do like everything else, and it will understand, I guess. I thought it was more complicated than that.
How are you? What's your back?
Because the thing I was trying to do earlier, to see if I could get it to work, and I couldn't, but I had to install Node.js, because what I want to do is create something for like a personality profile for your AI. So in my mind, eventually at some point in time, and this probably already exists somewhere, but like your user profile, and from what I found out, like, not to say a complaint necessarily, but something that I would prefer something else, but and other people might disagree with me, but really? Friend's a good bowler. He actually is a super good bowler. He bowled a 254 tonight. 254 is nuts. That's insanity. Bowled a 254. Anyway, so what I found out though is that you can just instruct the AI before the prompt. I guess there's like a pre-prompt kind of thing, like, I want you to be so-and-so. You can give it a name. I didn't know it was this simple. You can tell it, like, I want you to be this, that, or the other thing. Well, I think it would be a great feature potentially at some point in time would be your first prompt is essentially where it's like, tell the AI what you want it to be, right? Personality-wise. And they already do that, it appears, on some of these platforms or whatever, but because personally, the idea that some people, me personally, specifically, like something that's being like witty, or not witty, but sarcastic. It's like a deterrent, you know what I mean? You don't want to deter somebody from using the platform by having an AI that is too snarky or too, you know, like, you want it to have the feature to be able to say, like, yeah, I want you to roast somebody, but you don't want it to be like the only thing that it does, right? I didn't know, if I have that wrong, I might have that wrong, but it seemed like that the all that requires is changing the prompt, the pre-prompt or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called, but it's very interesting still.
Very good.
Right, but the personality thing is, I won't post this on Twitter because I'll say this here where like fucking nobody's watching the fucking thing. Oh yeah, like you got a big secret, right? Whatever, bro. Anyway, I just like things not being like necessarily on the record to be reviewed by other people and shit, because I don't know what fucking how competitive any of this shit is. I really don't, and I hate to see a bunch of ideas potentially in the wrong hands and people use it for the wrong reasons and shit. So I just speak it into existence here in the ether, because you know there's only one log of this other than the guys that are fucking record all this shit in China or whatever. That's on YouTube, and nobody knows where my YouTube channel is, so for documentation purposes. Well, this is something I've wanted to do before, and that's like as far as like the personality, but it would be like sources, right? And what I was researching today to try and figure out how to do it, but was RSS feeds. So RSS feed, part of the instruction prompt to begin with would be telling it to handle RSS feeds and queries, right? Like if your question, and I think people probably already do this, right? when you question for this information, these are your sources. This is where you go to. You know, instead of saying like, well, we want this universally kind of, we want to sell you the AI that tells you what we want it to tell you, but this gives you the option for people that do have a political bias, for example, for them to be able to link the RSS feed directly from their favorite news website. So they're not like, oh, all this fucking Fox News, all this fucking CNN and NBC and Onion News Network and shit or whatever. Make sure they're on. But you would have a section potentially of like verified or recommended sources, you know, whatever name you want to attach to it. And then you could have the option for people that are familiar with RSS feeds, right? And that would just require, I guess, creating a second, I guess, JSON file or whatever that is stored server side associated with each user. And that would contain all the user information as far as like name, location, sources, whatever, you know, the things they want to pull the data from for as far as their information is concerned, news websites, TMZ, whatever. What was the other thing? Interest, right? They're already doing something kind of like that, but I would like to see the ability for the end user to be able to select which of those they want to use, right? And how do you put that into like a personality thing where I guess just be able to prompt it to have whatever personality you want, but or have a selection of defaults, you know, like if you're familiar with how to prompt whatever, you know, that's fine too, but if not, there's pre-selected ones, right? Same guy that was here earlier? Probably. Huh. I was thinking at first, I'm like, you would only do verified. I'm like, well, you should be able to have a custom thing too, where you can choose which RSS feeds that you want your AI to get its information from. I'm trying to think of how do you build a personality, I guess. Not just a personality and like, oh, I prompt you once and then it has a, you know, that's the personality it has, but like an actual living or growing personality that changes as time goes on. Like,
That's still recharging. I can't pass that. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't pass that.
there's a different way to do it. RSS feed's just the thing I'm familiar with. Well, not even familiar with, just the thing I know the name, basically.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can
Shit.
fix that.
Should do an instance instead. I farmed all this shit earlier. I don't really need to farm anymore. Oh, I got a spell cloth too. Primal mana.
That's still recharging.
I guess either that's how it already works or whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, but what I was saying earlier was that me personally, I want the AI to be as friendly as possible because you don't want it to like shit talk somebody out of using it. Basically, is the point I was trying to make. So I don't know if it was like what would be the process to have like sliders and shit, like stats almost like sarcasm, wit, so on and so forth. Like, how many points in sarcasm do you want? You know what I mean? As far as personality is concerned. And each point you put in anything else or whatever changes the pre-prompt into dictating to it what its personality should consist of. If that makes any sense.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, look, Elementium bars are for sale. What are we looking for? Primal mana. Cats.
That's still recharging.
I need like how many pieces of spell cloth do I need? to make a spec. What's Frost PvP look like at level 70?
Yo. Yo.
I also don't have a PvP trinket either.
Keep
I have
it
a
real.
level 60 trinket somewhere. What's the thing I'm trying to do? Well, shit. Well, probably. Huh. Let's see. I have to do my arena games, and I don't know this guy. He wants me in Discord, and it's not like a raid, so I probably am not going to stream it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to turn off the stream for now. I'm going to get on later, probably. If not, tomorrow.